Good morning and welcome to Gospel Bytes, where we take a bite at the Gospel for the day. Today is Sunday, October 22nd. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Glory to you, O Lord. This is taken from Matthew 22, verses 15 to 21. Then the Pharisees went away to work out between them how to trap him in what he said. And they sent their disciples to him, together with some Herodians, to say, Master, we know that you are an honest man, and teach the way of God in all honesty, and that you are not afraid of anyone, because human rank means nothing to you. Give us your opinion, then. Is it permissible to pay taxes to Caesar or not? But Jesus was aware of their malice and replied, You hypocrites! Why are you putting me to the test? Show me the money you pay the tax. They handed him a denarius, and he said, Whose image is this? Whose title? They replied, Caesar's. Then he said to them, Very well, pay Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and God what belongs to God. The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Whenever we hear this gospel, we always associate it with just about taxes. It's something that normally we hear about is should we pay taxes or not. But this gospel speaks more than just about paying taxes, because those taxes were paid to the Romans to fund their military, which was oppressing the Jews. So they were saying, should we pay taxes? And they're using this for the soldiers so that they can oppress us. So if Jesus said yes, then that means he's a traitor to the Jews. If he says no, then the Romans could arrest him. Now, it goes beyond that, because in that Jesus asked him, whose image is this? The word image, we see this in one of the 10 Commandments. When God said, you shall not make a graven image of those that is in the sky or under the earth. And that image, Caesar claimed to be a deity. He claimed to be God. In that coin, he even says he's the Son of God. And so it's almost like to possess a coin means you acknowledge that Caesar was a god, a deity. So that's a very clear form of idolatry. And in some later on, it became a crime not to worship the emperor. So a lot of Jews and Christians were put to death because of that. Now, the fact that one of the scribes or the Pharisees possessed one of the coins in their pockets means that, it's like you're talking about being faithful, and yet you have one of these idolatrous image of the emperor in a coin. So that's why he called them hypocrites, because he knew they were just trying to trap him. And the answer of Jesus was, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give to God what belongs to God. What is it that belongs to Caesar? The fact that they were under the Romans also means that they're being protected by the Romans from their other enemies. As long as they're under Roman rule, the other nations could not conquer them. So sort of like a paid protection as well. So it's almost like we pay taxes for a certain reason, and Caesar may be the ruler of the kingdom, an earthly kingdom. So we owe our governments the honor, the obedience, and the respect that they deserve because of their office. But that's it. You don't give them more than that. when he said, give to God what belongs to God. What belongs to God? Everything, including ourselves, our hearts, our minds. So sometimes we give our jobs, the things that should be God's. We give our jobs 24/7, to the point that some of us don't even go to Mass anymore on Sundays because we think, oh, I have to catch up on my work. When in fact, Sunday is the day of the Lord. And we get too preoccupied with many things. There are many people who would give their whole life to their career, to their for the sake of money, for the sake of fame. There are even some people in Hollywood who openly says that they're Satanists and they've sold themselves to the devil, for a piece of fame, for a few minutes of fame. And some would, even in the governments, they will sell their soul for security in their office, for corruption in their office. So there are many things that people would do for the sake of money. They would make themselves slaves to things that are God, earthly, the things that they would not even do for God. If you buy a ticket to a ball game for $500, some people would fly to another country or another province to watch a concert and pay a fortune to watch a concert, but they would not give anything to the church. So these things, they reflect the love that we have for things, for Caesar, for the things of the earth, and none for God. So this is what he's saying, that you may give these things to these earthly rulers, but ultimately your fidelity, your life, your devotion, your time should be given to God, because you belong to God. You're not made in the image of Caesar. You're not made in the image of the earthly realm. You're made in the image and likeness of God. You belong to God. You don't belong to Caesar. So that's why later on the Jews were martyred, because they would not bow to Caesar. They would rather die than to worship this emperor. They even put a huge image of Caesar in the temple. And that's why they had to reclaim that temple. They have to rededicate the temple because of the desecration of this false god. So we are all called to surrender ourselves to God. And before we give anything to the world, we give everything to God first. I thought before, people used to counsel me too, like, well, if you want to become a priest, you enjoy your life first. Spend your youth on yourself and on God, and maybe later on, give it to God. Maybe when you're 70 or 80, then you can enter the seminary. And when we have nothing left to give. No, we give what is the best of us, and then just give the world what is left. But give God what belongs to Him, and that is the best of us and all of us. So learn to give priority to God before anything else. This is what this gospel is all about. And don't be too preoccupied with politics and all that, because God is way above politics. God is way above politics. So don't trouble yourself, even if these politicians, these rulers, these superiors may seem to have control, but ultimately we're all under one God, who is the creator of the universe. So Him we should serve first. I'm Father Jair Sembrano for another edition of Gospel Bytes. God bless you, and we'll see you soon. Have a nice weekend.